Unveiling Darkness, Top 7 Worst Cults in History. In the depths of human history, there exist groups that wielded power over their followers, leading them down paths of destruction and despair. Join us as we delve into the chilling world of the top 7 worst cults in history. Number 7. NXIVM. What began as a self-help organization quickly descended into a web of manipulation, exploitation, and abuse. NXIVM, created by Keith Raniere and Nancy Salzman, pronounced NXIVM, began as an executive self-help program, but, somewhere along the line, it took a dark turn. Within NXIVM, Raniere created a secret society called DOS, where women were recruited to join the organization under the guise that it would help them realize their potential. According to the New York Times, once recruited, these women would be required to hand over information about family and friends, naked photos of themselves, and rights to their assets, which could be used as a form of blackmail if they tried to leave. Prosecutors said that up to 50 of the women recruited into Raniere's group were branded with his initials, put on restrictive diets to stay thin, and were allegedly forced to have sex with him. Number 6. The Branch Davidians. Led by the enigmatic David Koresh, this group met a fiery end in the Waco siege of 1993, leaving behind a legacy of tragedy and controversy. The Branch Davidians were a religious group that originated from a schism within the Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Church in the 1930s. The group was led by a succession of leaders, the most notable being David Koresh, born Vernon Wayne Howell. Koresh became the leader in the late 1980s. The Branch Davidians gained widespread attention in 1993 when their compound near Waco, Texas, known as the Mount Carmel Center, was raided by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms (ATF), and the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI). The raid was conducted due to suspicions of illegal weapons possession and child abuse within the compound. 5. The Order of the Solar Temple. The Order of the Solar Temple. With its rituals shrouded in mystery and intrigue, this secretive cult left a trail of death and destruction across Europe and Canada. The Order of the Solar Temple was a secretive and esoteric religious sect that gained notoriety in the late 20th century due to a series of mass suicides and murders committed by its members. The group was founded in the 1980s by Joseph D. Mambro and Luke Jurett, both of whom claimed to be spiritual leaders with special insights into the nature of existence. The beliefs of the Order of the Solar Temple were a blend of elements from various spiritual traditions, including Christianity, New Age philosophy, and occultism. The group's teachings centered around the concept of spiritual transformation and the attainment of enlightenment through initiation rituals and esoteric knowledge. Number 4. The Children of God. Behind the guise of religious enlightenment, this cult subjected its members, including children, to psychological manipulation and sexual exploitation. The Children of God, later known as the Family International, is a controversial religious movement that emerged in the late 1960s. It was founded by David Berg, who came to be known by his followers as Moses David or Dad. The movement started in Huntington Beach, California, and quickly spread internationally. The cult initially attracted followers with its countercultural message, combining elements of Christianity with communal living, evangelism, and a rejection of mainstream society's values. Members of the group engaged in missionary work, often traveling to different countries to spread their message. One of the distinctive aspects of the Children of God was their practice of flirty fishing, where members, including women, were encouraged to use sexual attraction as a tool for recruitment and fundraising. This practice, along with allegations of sexual abuse and exploitation within the group, drew widespread criticism and controversy. Number 3. Scientology. With its celebrity endorsements and secretive doctrine, Scientology has faced allegations of abuse, coercion, and financial exploitation. Scientology is a religious movement founded in the early 1950s by science fiction writer L. Ron Hubbard. It is based on Hubbard's teachings, which he presented in a series of writings and lectures. The central belief of Scientology is that human beings are spiritual beings called Thetans who have forgotten their true nature. Through Scientology practices and counseling known as auditing, followers seek to rid themselves of negative experiences and traumas in order to reach a state of spiritual enlightenment. Scientology teaches that individuals can achieve higher levels of awareness and abilities by progressing through a series of spiritual levels, known as operating Phaeton levels. These levels are attained through auditing sessions and training courses offered by the Church of Scientology. Over the years, Scientology has been involved in numerous controversies and legal disputes, including battles with government authorities over its tax-exempt status, allegations of harassment and intimidation against former members and critics, and revelations about the mistreatment of individuals within the organization. Number 2. Jonestown. Under the charismatic leadership of Jim Jones, over 900 followers met their tragic end in a mass suicide that shook the world to its core. Jonestown was the informal name for the People's Temple Agricultural Project, an intentional community established by the People's Temple, a religious organization founded and led by Jim Jones. The community was located in northwestern Guyana, South America. The People's Temple was initially formed in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the 1950s. Under Jones's leadership, it gained a following for its message of social justice, racial equality, and communal living. However, concerns began to arise about the group's practices and Jones's increasingly authoritarian control over his followers. In 1974, Jones relocated the People's Temple to Guyana, where he established Jonestown as a self-sufficient agricultural settlement. On November 18, 1978, the situation came to a tragic and violent end. U.S. Congressman Leo Ryan, accompanied by a delegation of journalists and concerned relatives, visited Jonestown to investigate reports of abuse. During their visit, some residents expressed a desire to leave with the delegation. As they were preparing to depart, members of the People's Temple attacked the delegation, killing Congressman Ryan and several others. In the aftermath of the attack, Jim Jones ordered a mass suicide and murder at Jonestown. Over 900 people, including children, died after ingesting cyanide-laced flavor aid. It remains one of the largest single incidents of intentional civilian death in American history. And finally, number 1. Heaven's Gate. With its belief in extraterrestrial salvation, this cult's final act of mass suicide stunned the world and left behind haunting questions. Heaven's Gate was a religious cult founded in the early 1970s by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles. The group believed in a combination of Christian theology, science fiction, and elements of New Age philosophy. They preached that the earth was soon to be recycled and that the only way to survive was to leave their physical bodies behind and ascend to a higher plane of existence. Heaven's Gate gained notoriety in 1997 when 39 of its members, including Marshall Applewhite, committed mass suicide in a rented mansion in Rancho Santa Fe, California. The group believed that by shedding their earthly vessels, they would be able to board a spaceship traveling behind the Hale-Bopp comet, which they believed was an extraterrestrial spacecraft coming to take them to their new celestial home. The mass suicide shocked the world and sparked intense scrutiny of cults and fringe religious movements. It raised questions about the influence of charismatic leaders, the vulnerability of individuals to manipulation, and the dangers of extreme beliefs. The Heaven's Gate tragedy remains one of the most infamous incidents involving a cult in modern history. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the darkest depths of human history. Remember to like, subscribe and share our stories. Until next time, stay safe.